I wish I could drive.
When you dream at night, how are your dreams? You have smells in your dreams?
Sure.
He said, are you white or black?
Atlas was my seeing eye dog's name, and he would do so many things. He saved my life a couple of times. Actually.
Really? How? Faith told me one time, and I never knew if she meant it as a compliment. You're the most tenacious person I've ever met.
Yeah.
I had to go look that word up.
Hey, Meta, what am I looking at? Took a picture.
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking at a person sitting in a blue chair with a microphone in front of them. There's a red curtain behind you and a large light source to the right.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I can prove to you that she loves you more than Chris does.
I believe it.
I can prove it to you, though.
How?
You put Chris and your dog, girlfriend, in the trunk of your car. You come back in an hour and see who's glad to see you.
Oh my God. Hey, it's Wait What with Aimee Mayo. So this is Gordon Mote, who has, if I listed all the records that you've played on, it would take the whole podcast. I mean, everybody from Blake Shelton, all those records. You played on Gwen Stefani too, right?
I did.
Alabama, Leonard Skinner, Bob Seger.
Yeah.
I'm naming all the rock people that I freaking love. I love Bob Seger so much.
It was so weird to hear him in your headphones, or like James Taylor or somebody like that. It's just so weird that you grow up listening to those cats.
Oh, I
and
love it.
Not just that you get to kind of hear them in your headphones, but then like you get to be friends with them. And like, do you know of another business that you can do that?
No.
That's crazy, isn't it?
We wrote with Rick Springfield.
That's so cool.
And I wanted to marry him. Like, I kept turning 13.
You like Noah Drake, did you?
Yeah,
From General
I
Hospital?
did. And I love Jesse's Girl. Like, I was like 12 or 13 the first time I saw Rick Springfield. And I was just like in love with him. And he was like a grown up. He was like way older than me.
Sure.
But I just loved Rick Springfield. Snuck backstage. Like, I just loved Rick Springfield.
Well, and he was a good singer. Like, he was an actor, but he was a really good singer. And then the next record, that Success Hasn't Spoiled Me Yet, you know, that was a killer record. I remember the second single from that. Well, Don't Talk to Strangers was the first single, but the second single was a song called What Kind of Fool Am I?
Yes.
I wonder who she's seeing tonight. I thought, man, he's a killer singer. And that was really well produced, but it was simple. And anyway, yeah, those are good records.
I love Rick Springfield, and I love when guys love Rick. Rhett Akins loves Rick Springfield. Oh,
man, I do too. He had a song on that Hard to Hold record that was a movie. Wasn't Hard to Hold
it was a movie, yeah.
And the first single was called Love Somebody. There were several really good singles on that. But my favorite song on that was not a single. It was called Taxi Dancing.
I know that song.
Oh, what a great song that was.
I know all his songs. Like, I was looking up all the stuff you've played on. It was so many pages. It was like probably about 45 pages of credits. Like, it's so wild because you got started real young, right?
I did, yeah. I came to Nashville when I was 19, I guess. Jimmy Johnson, the great Muscle Shoals producer, player in that, in that session crew, he heard me play. A friend of mine at Jacksonville State University, where I went to school for 3 years. I crammed 4 years of school into 5. I went to Jacksonville State for 3 years, and a friend of mine knew Jimmy Johnson, and he said, you should meet Jimmy Johnson and maybe play some songs for him or whatever. So I played a couple of my songs. He said, man, just play something. And of course, he produced great, he produced the Stones. He produced like songs like Brown Sugar and produced Old Time Rock and Roll, and Bob Seger produced some of those Seger records. But anyway, and Jimmy was a great session musician too. Played on all that, Percy Sledge, Aretha, so many of those.
So he's Muscle Shoals.
He's a Muscle Shoals guy, and, passed away a few years ago, but always lived in the Shoals, played on all that, the Staples and, Did
he play on Aretha?
Yeah, sure did. And, like all those cats, Barry Beckett and David Hood and, all those amazing Muscle Shoals cats. But anyway, Jimmy said, just play something. Let me hear. So I played for him, and he said, son, you need to be in Nashville. he said, and you need to go to Belmont. He said, I think that's where you belong. And of course, I gave him every reason why I didn't think that could work. Well, my mom and dad can't afford it. And, the scholarship auditions have already been held. And he said, well, I know people at Belmont. I know Mr. Malloy there, and I could get you a scholarship audition. I'm sure of it. And I can put in a good word for you. And I gave him some other excuses because I was scared, Finally, he got frustrated when he said, son, I don't think you know who I am. Oh, just like that. And honestly, I didn't have to pay a dime to go to Belmont. He did everything he said he would do. He got me a scholarship audition. I got the full scholarship. He did everything he said he would do. He put his name on the line for a kid he barely knew. But a few years ago, we were doing a documentary in Muscle Shoals, and I told that story for the cameras. And he said, if I had ever met anyone that I felt like would make it in this business and change our business, he said, I knew it was you.
Oh, wow.
And that really made me, it was an emotional moment for me because he did everything he said he would do. And so Jimmy Johnson is one of the big reasons that I ended up in Nashville. I mean, God has the final say, but God puts people in our lives that can help us get to where we need to go. And he uses people to steer us in the right direction or to open doors for us. And Jimmy Johnson was certainly that guy for me.
Well, and for him to say that, with the people he worked with, and then for him to, that's about as big a compliment as you could get. I mean, because all those people, and then him saying something like that.
Yeah, he was.
Sweet. I've heard, I've talked to Tom Book about he's a guitar player, Tom. If y'all don't know, but I've talked to these musicians about you, and they're like, Gordon picks it up faster than anybody. You need a nickname, like a one take Gordon nickname, because you'll put it down quicker and it'll be right.
Well, you're very kind. I have a funny story about that. All my musician friends love this story, and a lot of them were on this date. Many years ago, I was working on a Faith Hill record, and it was a big power ballad. It was the first song we cut on a Monday, and so the demo was playing, and we were talking about football, I guess. We were talking about the Titans or whatever we were talking about, and I'm a huge sports fan, and so we were all talking, and the demo's playing. They've got a chart. I'm listening to it. I'm listening, but I'm talking. We go out, and it's kind of it's pretty heavy keyboard tune. I'm kind of what they call the track mule. I'm kind of carrying the weight of it. And we get the track, and I start layering it up, overdubs, and then we, do the guitar layers and all that. Well, I come in to the studio, and Faith Hill used to always wear the best perfume.
Oh, I know. I've copied her.
She really always smelled good. I smelled her coming over to me. She walks over by me. She puts her arm around me. She says, I was really frustrated with you earlier. And I was like, oh no. My heart just stopped. I was like, oh man, what did I say? What did I do? I said, how? What do you mean? And she goes, well, this song I think could be a really big song for me. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure it will be. It's a great song. And she said, but you weren't paying any attention. You were talking about football, and I thought to myself, this song could be a really big song. I really need him to be engaged, and he's not listening to it. And then you go out there and you play it perfectly, and you come up with all these great ideas. And then she was very sweet. I'm not sure I was all that perfect, but she said, you came up with all these ideas, and you made it so special, and and you weren't even paying. You were talking. I just don't know how you can hear it one time and not even be. I wish I could do that. And I didn't know what to say. It was I was a little embarrassed. And so the first thing that came to my head was what I said. I said, well, I wish I could drive. And that's kind of become legendary in Nashville. I didn't know what else to say, and she was being so sweet, and I was like, okay, this is awkward. I wish I could drive. So,
Faith is funny. Faith told me one time, and I never knew if she meant it as a compliment. I just decided I'm taking it as a compliment.
Right,
she was like, you're the most tenacious person I've ever met. Yeah. I had to go look that word up. What does this mean?
I would say that's true because, if you believe in a song, you're all about it, And a lot of people, if they get a no or they get 20 no's, they kind of start doubting, oh, well, maybe it's not as good as I thought. But I see you as being very tenacious. I think if you believe in something, you're all about it until you get it done.
It's so true. Like, it's so true because, like, I heard this thing about if somebody tells you no, you're asking the wrong person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they say no about a song, I'm just not pitching it to the right person.
I've told kids before, like if I go speak at a college or go, do like a master class or something, or just kids around me, I love to mentor young people. And I always tell them that if they have a plan B, then they should go do that.
Oh, wow.
The only way that the music thing is ever going to work for you is if you can't live without it. If you do it for free, because you're going to get a lot of no's and you're going to be discouraged a lot because this town is tough. This town looks for reasons for you not to be successful.
Oh, yeah.
And it's even harder now, I think, than it was when we got in.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's harder now. Like, because there's so many more people doing it and trying to do it now.
That and people can make beats and make music in their basement.
Yeah.
And AI can help you write a song, and there's so much against these youngsters now. So I feel like, and it's harder for kids now because they've been given so much, so many of them, not everybody, but a lot of kids feel a little more entitled. People in general don't want to work as hard as they used to. There's just not that work ethic. When you get great service at a restaurant or you get great service at your car dealership or your HVAC guy comes over and gives you great, honest service, it's almost like we're surprised.
Oh, yeah, always surprised. Like, if I'm like at Target and ask somebody where something is, if they tell me, I'm shocked. Like, usually they don't know and they're like, we don't have it. And then I find it myself.
Yes, exactly. So I hope that if anybody's watching this and you really, you think music is the way you need to go, you can save yourself a lot of pain and suffering. If you think you've got a plan B, well, if the music thing don't work out, I could do this. Go ahead and just go do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're going to be discouraged. But if you are really in it for the right reason, even if you never make it on a huge scale, or maybe the music thing leads to something else, you're going to be happy, because if you're doing what you love, you never work a day in your life,
It's so true. Have you ever heard that saying about burn the boats?
Yes, I have.
I love that saying. Like, you got to go to the island and burn the boat so you can't get off and you got to figure it out.
That's exactly right. And I mean, who am I kidding? I mean, there are some days that are tough. We have deadlines. You got, in the production world that I find myself in now, you're dealing with artists, but they're the easy part. You're dealing with the record labels, and you're dealing with all the people who want to come in and, well, we need to shoot this. We got to have some cameras there, and you're trying to produce a great vocal and trying to do a great record, and you got to be weary of the people with the cameras. Are you getting what you need? And it's just so complicated.
It's a whole different thing. I mean, a whole different thing. Like, I've always been curious, like with you, like, I think you're probably a better musician. Like, do you think you're a better musician, like, because you can't see?
Well, any talent that I have certainly comes from the good Lord. I started playing piano when I was 3 years old on a Thanksgiving day at my grandmother's house. I mean, that's the way it happened. I just sat down at a piano and started playing Jesus Loves Me with both hands.
Did it freak everybody out?
It did freak everybody out. 3-year-olds don't do that. Kids don't do that. So I know that it was a miracle from God. And so anything that I've ever done, I've always given him glory and credit for. It's nothing that I've done. Now, I've worked hard. I've worked real hard. I continue to work hard. I don't ever want to, I'm not at the point in my career where I want to be out on my porch and start thinking about all the stuff I've done.
Oh, yeah.
I'm grateful. I get reminded all the time because I do so many of these podcasts now. And so the word legend gets thrown around, which I hate, because I don't want to be old.
You've won so many awards. Yeah, there's a song Dennis Quaid wrote, called Legend. Don't call me a legend. Like, you've won so many awards, though, like musician. How many times have you won Musician of the Year?
Well, I don't know.
A lot.
ACM, I've won it 3 times. But I've been, it's funny, I've been nominated like 23 times for the thing. Gosh. And so it's not a really good track record when you think about it. But I've won, been up for 11 Grammys and lost all of those,
Oh my gosh.
as a producer and an artist. So I've probably lost a whole lot more than I've won. But, we don't really do it for the awards.
No.
We do it because it's in us and we can't live without it. And
What's your favorite
God put us
part
here.
of it?
My favorite, as a producer, my favorite part is tracking. I love tracking days because I'm a tracking guy,
Yeah.
That's how I came up. And I love tracking days. And of course, as a musician, I love the tracking days. But as a producer, I also really love getting that vocal, chasing that vocal down, working with the singer and helping them be the very best version of them they can be. And being a singer myself, I think maybe helps me with singers.
Yeah.
I know what singers need emotionally. I know how they need to be cheered on and encouraged. And I've always wanted to be as sensitive as I can be to musicians and singers. I mean, the whole production thing is more psychology than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
And, and you have to know when you've gotten the very best you're going to get. You don't ever want a musician or a singer to leave discouraged, because even if that song is a hit song, if that artist hears that hit song, they're never going to love it like they would have loved it had they had a good experience singing it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's that, I think the whole psychology of it is very interesting to study, but I try to just make everything as positive as I can, because I think you hear that. There are producers in this town that are known for really beating their singers up. I think that those producers have kind of backed off now, because I think we're all learning that, hey, yeah, we can make a perfect record. We know how to make a perfect record. That's not the hardest thing to do in this town, especially with all the technology we have. What we need to be focused on is making a record that's believable.
Yeah. That feels real.
Yeah.
That's my big thing with vocals. Like anytime, I haven't really I only produced one song on one record and I didn't even get credit, but I love working with the people I write songs with in the studio, like Bill Luther. Do you know him?
Oh, he had a big hit on a song called Believer.
Yes.
Believers.
Yes.
And I still have the demo of him singing it on my phone. The first time I played on that song, we cut it on Joe Nichols years ago. And when I heard that demo, I was so moved by it.
Yeah.
I was so moved by that vocal that I begged the producer to send me that demo, and it's still in my playlist.
Boy, he sang this song,
Woo.
this gospel song. Do you know this song Faith Hill recorded, There Will Come a Day?
Yes.
When we wrote that, I got the best vocal out of Bill Luther I think he's ever sang. I know what he's capable of, because he's the first person that would ever write with me. So we wrote together. Nobody would write with either one of us. And he wasn't singing his demos. It's this is insane. They were making him use demo singers. And he just blows my mind. His voice is so good. And so I love working with him, because I always felt like I could get a better vocal out of him, because I knew what he was capable of. And how to talk to him.
Yeah, I love his singing. He's so believable. That's what we need, are communicators. We got a lot of people who are incredible singers, but the thing we need more of, the communicator, the singer that can really sell it, make you believe every word. And a lot of these young kids, they've come up listening to vocals that have been tuned really hard, a lot of vocals that don't have a whole lot of feeling. And they're singing that way.
I know. Chris and me talk about they learn to sing like the tuned vocal.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even understand how they do that.
Well, they can do it. They're imitating what they've heard. And so when you find, that's why Zach Top is so huge right now.
Yeah.
That's why Jake Worthington he's going to be so huge. I could name quite a few. That's why Lainey Wilson is so huge.
Yeah.
They are real singers. They're incredible communicators, and that's why Vince Gill, when he makes a record, everybody wants to hear it.
Yeah.
Because when Vince sings it, man, you believe every word. And Vince, I can tell you, because, I've played on so many of his things, all these songs, all these EPs that are coming out. There's a new song on this new EP called Secondhand Smoke. If you haven't heard that, you need to stop what you're doing right now and go find it. Vince Gill, Secondhand Smoke. He wrote it by his dad.
Oh, wow.
It's one of the greatest things that he's ever recorded. I told him the other day, I think it's the best vocal he's ever gotten.
Oh, I can't wait to listen
It's
to it.
unbelievable. It truly is. And I just, so, we've got singers like that. You were talking about Martina a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Every word she sang, I believed.
Always. She's so good.
Josh Turner. Think about Josh.
He's so good too.
Yeah, every word he sang, I believed. There's a whole lot of people. Shea Mooney, every word he sings, man, it's just he's just got talent dripping off of him. I mean, we are very fortunate to have a lot of great singers in this town that communicate well, and that's why that they pop off the radio, they pop off of your phone when you hear them, whatever it is. That's why Blake is so huge.
Oh, Blake's such a good storyteller.
Yes,
that
he is a killer.
Old Red song.
Oh, yeah.
I freaking love that song.
Mac McAnally is, I talk about Mac a lot because I tell people, if you want to listen to somebody who can tell a story in person to you, to your face, you're sitting at the table having breakfast with him. I love Mac. He's one of my favorite people in the world. But he also, when he sings, he doesn't lose that ability to tell that story.
Yeah.
When Mac sings, and a lot of these singers I just mentioned, when they sing, it's almost like they're singing directly to you.
Yeah, totally. That Tim McGraw's like that.
Yep.
I love him as a storyteller, and Kenny Rogers might have been my favorite.
And Kenny was such a musician's guy too. Like I remember, I got to work with him a few times, and he would come in my room and tell me, "Man, I love what you did on that second verse." And he knew exactly. I mean, he was paying attention, not just to his singing. He was paying attention to everything we did.
Oh, he's
unbelievable.
Just was one of my favorites.
He's dialed in like Reba. Reba's so dialed in. Like everything you do, she hears it all. Like she's so dialed in. I had the opportunity to work with Michael Bublé a few weeks back. He's so dialed in. Like there's a reason why these people are superstars.
Oh yeah, big time.
I remember the first time I worked with Kelly Clarkson. She is so dialed in. Like
she's such a great singer.
Yeah, I don't understand how they are singing everything, but they're also hearing every little nuance from the band. It's really fun.
There's something about that. Here's a water. You want some water? She brought you one.
Oh, you're so nice.
Can I get one?
Yeah, you can have one. Your smart water next to you.
Oh shoot, I forgot. Here you go.
Does that make you smarter?
I drink it because I like that. And I got a hat that says math. And I always wear it because I think it makes me seem smarter.
It's live TV, everybody.
I've got like a question.
Y'all don't edit this stuff out, do you?
We're not editing that out.
You should never edit any of this stuff. This is awesome.
Okay, so one thing I love about you, it's a weird thing, but I love how you hold your hands when you play piano because it's different. It's different. And see, everything I've done so many things and learned. If you're self-taught, you teach yourself how to do it your way. And so like I spent half my middle school grounded because I got a typewriter when I was 8 and I taught myself how to type. Nice. So I could never type the way they would teach you to.
Yeah, gotcha.
And they would just get so mad and I would always make an F, but I still was typing and I hold a pencil wrong. I play guitar without a pen. Everything I do a little different. And I was watching you play, and then I saw you playing on the awards the other night.
Oh yeah, the CMAs. Yes, that was a fun time.
And that's when I was telling Chris. Chris was like, "Isn't it cool how he does?" We were watching you, and we were talking about it, and it made me feel good because I totally related because that's the story of my life.
Yeah, I failed the piano proficiency exam at Belmont the first time I took it because I didn't play with the right fingerings.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was a vocal major because I knew piano would be too hard. So I was a vocal major at Belmont. I failed the piano proficiency exam and I had to work with Lori Meacham, who's a jazz piano player around town. Unbelievable. One of the most talented jazz piano players I've ever heard. I had to work with her. She taught me to play really slowly the scales with the right fingerings. And so it didn't matter how fast I played them, they failed me because of the fingerings. So the next time I took the exam, I played them as slowly as I could. And, but I had to pass that test in order to graduate.
Oh wow,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So you had to do it their way?
I had to do it their way. But it was funny because a few years later, they called and told me that I had received what they call the Curtain Call Award. They've given it to anyone who went through the Belmont program who they felt was successful in the business. And I was on a good run and had, was really starting to gain my footing. And they were very proud of me, and they were very kind. And they wanted me to come sing for their showcase, invited Kimberly and I. We went to a sweet reception they had for us. And Jeff Kirk, who's the saxophone guy at Belmont, came up to me and said, "Gordo, man, we're so proud of you." And Jeff was always flying my flag really high and was always such an encourager. And he said, "Man," he said, "Dr. Landis." Now, Dr. Landis was the piano. He was the head of the piano department at Belmont. He said, "Dr. Landis is on sabbatical, but he wanted me to congratulate you. And he wanted me to ask you how you're doing with those fingerings." Well, he's the guy that failed me.
Oh my God.
And so I said to Jeff in jest, I regretted it immediately, but it felt good to say it at the time. I said to Jeff, "Well, Jeff, you tell Dr. Landis I said hello and ask him how many #1 records he's played on lately."
Oh, I love it.
I shouldn't have said it. I know I shouldn't have said it, but it just felt really good to say it.
Yeah, it feels good. Like when I first moved to Nashville, I went to some publishing meetings, and I got a deal really young. And the crazy thing is, like, I went to one of my first meetings. This guy was like, "So you don't sing?" I can sing barely, but my dad told me I was tone deaf growing up. So I was afraid to sing in front of anybody. But he's like, "You don't sing, you don't play. I don't get it. I don't understand what you're going to do." And but I'd written my whole life, and I did stay grounded. So I wrote poetry like growing up. I mean, like I'd written, I think I've probably written more than anybody that's not in a psychiatric hospital.
Sure.
Like it's all, and I realized pretty quick what we need is the idea in the writing room, because like you got to have the idea. I mean, you got to have the lyric. Like if I came in with The House That Built Me, and you and me were writing, we would knock it out of the park, because that idea, you know what I mean?
A great idea.
You can just dig into it. Like, do you think being blind makes you better of a musician?
I don't know. I think, people will ask me, "Do you think you hear better because you're blind?" I'm not sure that's true, but I think maybe I use my hearing more because I have to depend on it more. It's like any muscle that you use more.
Yeah.
If you're in the workout room all the time, you're using those muscles, you're working out, people can tell that I think being blind, it's kind of the same thing, because I don't have my sight to depend on. I have to use all my other senses more. And so they are used to being used.
Yeah.
And they're used to being depended on. And so I think I've learned how to use them better and more. So I think that would be the thing. I'm not sure that God gave me better hearing because I couldn't see. I think maybe he's just taught me how to depend on him.
Well,
more.
God definitely gave you a gift, because it ain't normal to be like you're, a little kid and just surprise everybody playing that. I mean, that's unreal. Like I can't imagine with our kids, if I just heard one of them in there playing something, and they all play and they're amazing musicians, but I can't imagine at that age. You know what I mean?
This town is it's such a musician's town. We all inspire each other. I mean, I am so inspired by guys like Brian Sutton and Paul Franklin, who won the CMA Musician of the Year. And it's about time. This is his 33rd time to be nominated. Can you believe he's never won until this year?
Shane McAnally texted me, and he was telling me about that. I did not know that until then. He was like, "We need to spread the word how many times he's been nominated."
Mm-hmm. And, it's great that he won it, but he's already in the Country Music Hall of Fame. So he doesn't have anything to prove. But I'm glad that this town finally gave him that award. There's no one in our business that deserves it more than Paul. I love him so much. I'm inspired by guys like him and guys like Brian Sutton. And, I could name just about every musician I work with. You mentioned Bukovic a while ago. I love Tom. Every musician that I work with is so inspiring to me. And not only their musicianship, but their kind-heartedness. This town, people don't realize it's a family.
Always.
It's
Yeah.
it's a lot smaller than you think. And people really do care about each other. And I hope that the young kids coming up, because I don't see that in the young ones like I do in the generation that I was before, and we learned from them. But because the world's changed so much, the people, they use social media to talk, and there's not as much face to face, and I don't see, there are some of the young ones I see that in, but I don't see it in as many of them as I wish I did. I hope that our community in 20 years is close like we are now.
Yeah, that's the thing with our kid. I see with our kids, like, because they do music, and I can really tell how upset they are about AI. I mean, there's that thing about 10,000 hours to like master something.
Yep.
And now people are doing these demos with Suno. And
it's horrible.
It's awful. Like, I
horrible.
just can't even hardly deal with it. We wrote a song last week. With Hillary Lindsey and Troy Verges, and we, like,
So
when we
good.
finished it, they wanted to do a demo. Well, we were all arguing because they were doing a demo with like a AI voice, and I was just like, we need to pitch this to Kenny with the guitar vocal. I don't care if it's perfect, you know what I mean, and neither will he. And he passed on it, but I'm convinced he passed on it because of that AI voice.
Could be. And, as a producer, I'd rather hear it just a guitar vocal.
Me too.
I'd rather hear a piano vocal or a guitar vocal. I'm listening to the song, I think a lot of times we try to spoon feed the producers. A lot of times the demo is really, really good. I remember, and there are some really good demos. I remember when we cut Hillbilly Bone on Blake Shelton and Trace. And I remember Scott Hendricks heard the demo. He's like, wow, I wouldn't change hardly anything about that. We just need to do it better. We just need better sounds. We just need to do it better. But he ended up getting some of those guitar parts as a stem because that was such a great sig lick. And it was just so great. And of course, Craig Wiseman, he had a little part on there too. And it was so, nobody could play it like him. Nobody could play it like him. So Scott got the stems. Sometimes the demo will win it for you. But a lot of times, most of the time, it's all about the song and just, as a producer, I want to be able to dream. I don't want to be to the left or to the right. I don't want to be, influenced by a demo. I just want to be able to hear it with a clean slate and figure out what I want to do with it and how my artist, because if you're pitching to an artist, then you can pitch it kind of like they might record it or whatever. But some songs may not be for the artist you think they're for.
Yes.
As a songwriter, I can say that maybe it's ahead of its time. Maybe it needs to, marinate for 5 or 10 years. But at some point, if the song is going to win, it's going to win. You can't stop it. So if you do something that's timeless, like a guitar vocal or a piano vocal, that song's got a really good shot. So,
oh yeah,
however,
I agree.
Hillary Lindsey is one of the finest singers in this town.
I was like, maybe we should just let you sing it.
Goodness gracious, she could sing "Mary Had a Little Lamb," and I think
she's my favorite girl singer.
She's unbelievable.
She blows my mind. And I was like, it doesn't matter if it's in a lower key.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you said that about Dream a minute ago, it made me think about. I had all these questions written down. I've been so curious about like what when you dream at night. How are your dreams?
They're like my real life. So I've never been able to see. So I don't see anything in my dreams. Anything that I dream is using all the senses that I use in real life. Now, here's something interesting. If someone has lost their sight, but they had sight at one time, they can see in their dreams.
Do you think being blind makes you better of a musician?
I don't know. I think so. I don't see, but if you talk to somebody who used to see they can see in their dreams.
So when you dream, is it like audio and
Yeah.
like
It's all the senses that I have now.
smells? Do you
Yeah,
have any-
smells, taste,
You have
audio.
smells in your dreams?
Sure.
See, I don't have smells in my dreams.
Yeah, of course.
I love when I can remember my dreams because I don't remember them much.
Well, I don't remember too many of them either, but I've never seen anything in a dream. But like I say, people who have lost their sight, they can see in their dreams, and that's pretty cool for them.
Okay, so right out of high school, I worked at this camp, Easter Seals Camp.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in the pool, like every week we would have different campers. And I was in the pool, and there was this little boy in the pool. I just love this kid. And so he was blind. And when we're swimming, he came over to me, and he's like, I'm floating through the clouds in the water.
Wow.
And I was like, I wonder what he's imagining like
The cloud
the
looks
clouds are.
Yeah.
I just was fascinated. And then
Yeah.
he said, are you white or black?
That's awesome.
And I was like, I'm white. And he goes, well, I'm black. But he was white too.
Nice.
And it was like, so then he came over and he wanted to feel my hair. But we had the best conversation. And I was just fascinated, especially with the clouds. You know what I mean? Like, because I would imagine like floating through the cloud. That's a perfect way to describe it.
Sure. Well, it's interesting. People have tried to explain colors, and they've tried to explain and some of that I kind of understand, but at the end of the day, I really don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's not the way I view
you're not
things.
in that. It don't matter.
No, not really.
And so I'm curious too about vibes and energy. Like, so when you meet somebody, like, because there's that quote, I don't know if you've ever heard about your vibe enters the room before you do. Like, so when you walk in a room, you can sum it up pretty quick.
I can actually. I've been told that I can.
Yeah.
And I try to, when I walk into a room, I try to bring everything positive to a room.
Yeah.
I want, if I'm producing or if I'm just playing or whatever, I've always said, I don't care if people say, oh, he was a killer keyboard player or he was a killer singer or producer or whatever, because there's tons of talent in this town. What I really hope they say is, man, he was good for the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was a great hang, or I really enjoyed him, or he always made me feel special, or whatever.
I'll tell you what I've heard about you.
Uh-oh.
That I
Can we
think,
say this
like,
on camera?
It was so good. I've heard this multiple times. You're a joy to be around.
Well, God bless him.
I mean, that, like, you
Caught me on
couldn't
a
really
good day.
get much more of a compliment than a joy to be around. Like,
Well.
and Bukovac and Chris, like, when they
Yeah.
talk about you, and they were telling me something about, like, how, I don't really know how to describe it, but like how you can tell space and stuff by snapping, or
I just walk around and kind of snap my finger.
That's amazing to me.
Just see what's around, and like if I'm gonna get a vocal, a lot of times I want to walk in the room where the engineer thinks they're gonna put the singer, and kind of snap and walk around it to make sure that I'm not gonna hear on the vocal, I'm not gonna hear glass, or I'm not gonna hear, like, I want it to be like I want it to be. In some rooms, you just have to do the best you can. I can listen to, well, before they started using so many samples and pocketing everything, I could listen to a record and tell you where the drums were cut.
Oh, what?
You know,
Are
I
you
could-
serious?
oh,
Like
yeah.
the studio?
Yeah, I could
my
tell you what
gosh.
piano it was because I played them all, but I could tell you, and I could tell you who was playing. And now, not in every case, but in a lot of cases, they've lined us up so much that there's a lot that you can't tell anymore. And I think it's coming back the other way. I talked to Justin Niebank about this the other day. Justin, for those of you watching, Justin is he's just one of the most talented people that I know in this town. He's a great mix engineer. When he is tracking, it is so inspiring. Guys like him and Chuck Ainley and Jeff Balding, Drew Bowman. I could name so many this town is so full of great engineers. Anyway, I'm so in awe of what they do, and they inspire us to make great music. We're always better when our headphones sound good and when we can hear what we want to hear. And you go into the control room and you hear a playback, and you think, wow, I'm glad I came to work today. I sound pretty good, whatever. But Justin was telling me, I was asking him, I told him, I felt like the music business was coming back to real musicians and real tones.
You can feel, like my daughter was talking about music. You can feel music. That's what's wrong with the AI stuff. You don't feel it. And it can only do things that have been done before.
That's exactly right. They're taking our samples, taking what we've done. But there's nothing like a bunch of guys in a room feeding off each other.
And their heart and soul in the instrument.
Let me tell you, this is why the great artists that we all grew up listening to still sell out arenas.
Yeah.
We were talking before we went to tape about the group Alabama.
Yes.
I do a few shows with them each year, about 30 shows. Love those guys. Got to work with them in the studios. Started touring with them about 6 years ago. I've always loved Teddy and Randy. Love Jeff. Everybody misses Jeff. But, that was the soundtrack of my life. But the reason they still sell out arenas, no, they hadn't had a hit in a long time. They had 43 number one hits. So they do about 2 hours and can only do about half of their hits. Every song they play is a number one song. People are singing in the audience. But the reason that they sell out arenas is because that's real music.
Oh, yeah.
When you feel it, you want to go see real music, you go see George Strait. He's packing stadiums. Anytime when James Taylor can come to a town every year or every 2 years and sell out.
Fire and Rain's my favorite song.
Unbelievable.
What's your favorite song?
Happy Birthday. No, I don't know. I'd have to think about
Happy Birthday's hard to sing. Do you think I can never start it right on Happy Birthday.
Is that right? I don't know what song my favorite song is. Honestly, I never have thought about that. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what my favorite song I've written is or my play. I don't know. That's a really good question. That's going to be my homework assignment.
Yeah, it's hard. I know, it's hard that they change too.
But I know what some of my favorite records are.
What?
Okay, so Diana Krall's version of Superstar.
Yes.
Is unbelievable. Let's see. Now I'm on the spot and I'm trying to think. One of the finest country records made in the 21st century is a song called Right Now With You, Mo Pitney.
Okay, I don't know that, so I'm going to have to listen to that.
I think that is, I didn't play on that. It had nothing to do with that record. That was produced by Jim Moose Brown, and Mo sings the crap out of it. He wrote it, of course. I love Scotty Emmerich.
Yes.
A song called The Watch.
I saw him the other night at the BMIs.
If I could sing like anybody, it would be like Scotty Emmerich.
Oh, wow.
I love his voice. Talk about communicating. Are you kidding me? He is so amazing. I'm talking about production and everything, these records. There's an artist called Butterfly Boucher.
Oh, yeah, I know that artist.
She did a song called Another White Dash. Every time I hear that song, it's almost like reading the Bible. Every time you read the Bible, you read a verse of scripture, you find something new. Whenever I listen to that song, I hear something new. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't notice that.
Is that about life and death and in between?
It's like, yeah, it's kind of that. And it's like you're driving on the road, it's all of that. You should go back and listen to it. It's called Another White Dash, Butterfly Boucher. So yeah, I could name a few others too that I think are like, okay, if these are perfect, what I call perfect records. That Diana Krall thing, that vocal is so in your face. Every note of that arrangement is killer. The strings, the way they built that, the microphone they used, the just everything about that mix is just so perfect. And all these records that I'm mentioning, like that's what turns me on about them. Not only how great the song is, but the production value and just so, I get turned on by that too. There's a song called Love Lives On by
I know that
Mallory
song.
Hope.
Yes.
I think Mallory's one of the best singers in this town. And she is quite the communicator. I produced a song on her called Come Home to the Water that I think is great.
I'm going to have a whole list of songs to listen to.
Amy Grant said, you know what you need to do? You need to send me a song every week that I can listen to.
I'm going to make a list tonight for sure.
So I every now and then I'll text her a song and say, okay, check this out. This is really, really good. We're all looking for that palate cleanser. Like we're all
Yeah.
looking for what's going to renew our faith in this
It's
industry.
exciting, too, when you find something.
Oh, yeah.
I got the weirdest question. Well, I got a crazy question.
I'm ready.
Okay, have you ever had a seeing-eye dog?
Yes.
I want to know about that.
Okay,
'cause
so I graduated.
love dogs so much.
I do too. We have dogs now. We have one dog. We had to put our little one down a couple months
How
ago.
old?
Kimberly was 15. Was Sadie 15?
What
Yeah.
kind?
She was a little cavapoo. My sweet wife is off camera.
Yes, Kimberly.
But she's so beautiful. She should be in the shot, and you should just hear my voice. Well, her voice is prettier than mine too, honestly. But Kimberly's here with me. But yeah, but now we still have Cooper, our golden retriever. He's 10, and he's awesome. But I had a seeing eye dog. I graduated in '88 from Emma Sansom High School in Gadsden.
Oh, my dad went to Emma Sansom.
Yeah, and now it's Gadsden City. They put Gadsden High, Litchfield, and Emma Sansom together, made Gadsden City High School.
And it's a big school, right?
It's a huge school, yeah. But I had a seeing eye dog. I'd flown on one plane. I'd been to the Bahamas with our Emma Sansom High School marching band. We went for a competition in the spring. So I'd flown one time there and back, but I'd never flown by myself. I flew by myself to Morristown, New Jersey, actually flew into Newark, and it was like 2 hours before they got there to pick me up. And the guy that picked me up said, Gordon Mote. I was like, close enough. So I went with him, and so they kept saying, talk some more. We want to hear you talk. You got the craziest accent we've ever heard, And so I thought, man, if my dog doesn't understand Southern language, Southern accent, I'm going to be in trouble. But Atlas was my seeing eye dog's name. And so I got my seeing eye dog. I trained with him for 4 weeks, brought him home, did some mobility training, and I enrolled at Jacksonville State University, where I was on scholarship in the music program. And so Atlas was a really good.
What kind of dog was he?
He was a yellow lab.
Oh, wow.
And so he was great because people didn't feel so uncomfortable to approach me because everyone loves dogs.
Everybody, I'm obsessed with dogs.
Yeah.
Our dog's we got 2 dogs. Girlfriend is my dog, really, and she's 13. She's blind in one eye, or had it removed, and then she's deaf, and she's had cancer 3 times. She's a little survivor.
I think Kimberly thinks I'm deaf sometimes. I just don't hear it very
Chris too.
Yeah.
But so I just love dogs, and it's
I do
funny. There's these little vests, like emotional support dogs.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm thinking every dog that's what a dog is an emotional support, like to everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I love dogs too, and
what all did it do? Like, what all did I don't know anything about it.
Well,
but I've
you
always
could
been
use hand gestures and voice commands, and he knew how to watch out for me, and he would help me get where I needed to go. He would learn these routes, and I would have to learn them too. But he was such a help. Some people use a white cane, but the seeing eye dogs are so incredibly smart. And he would do so many things. He saved my life a couple of times, actually.
Really? How?
Well, one time we were in New Jersey, and this guy ran a red light and almost hit us, and Atlas jerked me out of the way.
Oh, my gosh.
Like with incredible force. And then another time, it was raining really hard. I was about to cross the street to my apartment from the music building at Jacksonville State. And this car, I guess, lost control a little bit, hydroplaned maybe or something. Anyway, almost hit us. I felt the heat from the car. Atlas almost picked me up off the ground. Like, it was amazing with the force he had. Jerked me out of the way just in time. I don't know how they teach them how to do that. I don't know what that is, but I believe he saved my life twice.
I think he did. It sounds like he did. I read once that, I don't know if this is true, but I read that 100 people, it could be a week because it sounds a little much for a day, but I read that 100 people get hit by a car every day in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
That seems a little much. Maybe it was a week, but I mean, when I see somebody with one of the sticks in New York, I'm just like, how in the world,
Yep.
and especially with you touring all the time. I mean, like
Yeah.
you're somewhere you hadn't been all the time. That's got to
Right.
be nuts. But I was always curious about like a CNI dog because, they got dogs that do everything. My friend's daughter has epilepsy and they know.
That's unbelievable. I don't know how they know, but that is crazy. I think that's great though.
Like, so how long did you have Atlas?
I had him, he was 12 when he passed away. Yeah. So I got him in 88 and he died late in 98. So I had him about 10 years.
Oh,
He was a year
wow.
and a half when I got him. It's interesting about the seeing eye. It's a wonderful thing. It's interesting. He was ready for the class of students before my class, but he wasn't a good match for any of those students. So they held him out.
How did they match?
Well, they get tons of people in your world to write letters about you.
Oh my gosh.
And Atlas loved music. And when I would play the piano, he would go lay under the piano and go to sleep. He loved music and he had a sense of humor.
I didn't know
he was
they
funny.
did all this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did not know they did all this.
Well, I didn't really either until I got into it. But like when it would rain or be really muddy, if he was in one of those moods where he just wanted to play, when we would hit a puddle or he would walk for the water and then like jump and get me all wet, like just to goof off. Like he just loved to play.
Like joking around.
Yeah, like that was his little personality. When Kimberly and I started dating, he didn't know what to think about her at first, but then of course,
Oh, was he jealous?
well, a little, but then quickly he became her dog and not mine.
Yeah, that's what's great about dogs.
Yeah. She would give him a treat and she would do things and she played very unfairly and got his allegiance, But before we would go to bed, if he wasn't ready for bed, he would go grab toys and would want to play like every night. We always knew we couldn't go right to bed because it was time to play. He was not having it.
That's what I love. Like our dog girlfriend, like she would grab the first thing she could see. Like when we come in, she still likes to play. She's 13, so like she still likes to play though. She's a little trip. She's the craziest dog I've ever known. And then Batman, he's like a fat black pug, and all he cares about is food. I don't even think that dog.
Yeah. We have a lot in common.
Yeah, he just looks like, is she gonna feed me? I think she's gonna, like, that's all he ever thinks about. He's always sniffing, like thinking he's gonna get food, but like.
And a pug can't sneak up on you.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
and girlfriend snores so bad,
Yeah.
like now that she's older.
Yeah.
And but I just love dogs so much. And I was working on a book about losing your dog, and then I stopped twice because that's when girlfriend got cancer, and I'm like, I'm gonna stop this. I feel like I'm bringing some weird stuff into my life.
Right.
But I was doing a bunch of research, and I got way into stuff about CNI dogs. Like I love Helen Keller. Like when Lola had to play, they did a little play thing, and they could pick their female. And I was like, we watched that movie, the Miracle Worker movie.
Oh, sure.
And like, I was like, you have to see this movie. I wanted her to pick her person, but being from we're both from Alabama. Like, I just always loved her. But the
She
way
was from
she talked about her dog, and her relationship with her dog, I was so fascinated. Yeah, but she kind of blew my mind a little bit. Like that movie's so good.
It is, and we actually, Kimberly and I saw it. We saw the play in Tuscumbia, Helen Keller's hometown, and that was really cool. The local theater put it on, and it was really neat because those people are so bought into the story of Helen Keller and having been around that tradition.
She's a hero.
Yeah, she is. She is definitely that, and the city of Tuscumbia is very proud of her. I actually was the grand marshal for the Helen Keller Festival that year.
You
for
were?
the parade.
I didn't even know this.
A few years back.
I love her.
Played
I
that
know
parade.
so much about her. Just, I'm fascinated by the whole story. And I think you were talking about God putting people in your life and all that. Like, that Ann lady that
Oh,
worked
yeah.
with her. I don't know the story, but you might, about her, like her brother, like he was deaf. So like she knew all kinds of things and she wanted to help Helen Keller communicate. And they were just lined up. God put them in each other's
Yes.
life.
And if you haven't read the book, if you're out there and you haven't read about Helen Keller, it's a really encouraging
Did she write it?
story. I think she wrote it with someone.
I'm going to see if she might have narrated something because she's a great writer. She
There
was
is,
a great writer.
she could talk. People don't know that, but if you don't know, you don't. But there are some audio clips of her speaking.
Oh, yeah, shit. Oh, sorry. I forgot. I have heard her talk, but I forgot. She wouldn't have been doing the audio book.
Right, but
for
she
some reason
did.
it's in my head like somebody great did that audio book, but I don't remember
Yeah,
who.
and I don't remember either, but yeah, it's a well-known voice that does it.
Yeah, because I remember liking it.
Yeah, it's
You
really
listen to
good.
many audio
I
books?
listen to books all the time.
Okay, I'm going to give you my book.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, I'm going to
I love
email it to you.
Please do.
It's got a lot of cussing in it, though, but
Well,
I feel
sure.
bad about that a little bit. But the only word I don't like is GD.
Well,
Now,
sure.
I'm cool with the rest of them.
It's equal cuss word user.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I love to read. That's just a good escape for me to kind of I'm a huge sports fan. And so, listening to a game kind of gets me to where, it's funny because so many of the arrangements that I've come up with as a producer or even a hook for a song that maybe I heard a demo for and I know we're going to cut it on an artist. Sometimes the best hooks or the best arrangement ideas or whatever I come up with when I'm not even trying, like I'm out on my screened-in porch listening to a Braves game or listening to an Alabama game. I remember one of the coolest little hooks I came up with. I was listening to Vanderbilt baseball in the College World Series, and this little hook came to my mind for this tune. And I just made sure I recorded it on my iPhone, and then I was good. But like when my mind is just able to relax and not be thinking about it is when I come up with some of the best stuff I come up with. And so reading a book or listening to old radio shows, which I collect. I'm a collector of old-time radio shows. Listening to games, listening to books. Oh yeah, I'm a lot of times, people say, how much music do you listen to? Well, I listen to more music than I used to, and if I'm being honest, but what I listen to mostly is, any game. I'm a huge football, basketball, baseball fan, but I love books. I love, all those kinds of things, dramatized, radio shows and things like that. But I'm just so grateful now with podcasts
I
and
love
all the
podcasts.
things,
I listen to so many podcasts.
There's so much out there that's really well done. And so
I've gotten to where I can't watch TV shows. I don't care about them because I've gotten way into podcasts.
what's interesting about television now is, there's so many providers. You've got Prime, you've got Netflix, you've got Apple TV, you've got Paramount Plus, you've got Peacock, you've got all, so with all that, there needs to be content because there's so many outlets for content. But one of the great things, with, HBO Max, you've got all those wrapped into one, Disney Plus, all the things. What I am so grateful for is so many of those platforms now have audio described movies and shows. And so for me, that is incredible because used to my audio describer was Kimberly. We would watch a movie and she would be telling me but now she can kind of watch it and not have to talk so much.
Oh, I love that.
Because of the audio description. But now sometimes the audio descriptions are so descriptive.
Yeah,
that
sometimes
a sighted
they
person
are.
are like, would you please turn that off?
I've got mine stuck on it before. And we couldn't figure out how to work the remote.
Yeah.
And the first time I heard it, I was like, what's going on? But sometimes they're good. It's just like overdubs of voices from Europe or Russia or whatever.
It can be, or it can be America. A lot of them do it, but if you're an Xfinity user, you can talk to your remote and say, turn audio description on or turn audio description off. If you're an Apple user, you can set up your side button on your Apple TV remote to triple click. You can go into the settings and set it to where if you triple click it, it turns audio description on or off. Or you can tell Siri if it's an Apple, if you're watching an Apple created program, it'll turn it on and off. But now if you're watching, say, HBO Max or Disney Plus or one of those things, you actually have to go into the menu
and find it
and turn it off. Not within the menu of the Apple TV itself or whatever you're using, but in the menu of that television show. It'll say audio and subtitles, and that's where you find it.
So what technology-wise, what do you think is the coolest thing like that made your life easier?
My iPhone is pretty killer.
How does it work? What do you do? Like, do you like? I was texting
Here, I'm gonna take my glasses off.
Those glasses are kind of magic too, right? They do tricky stuff.
12 minutes ago, University of Alabama, Crimson Tide Rewind is starting.
Yeah, see, it's telling me I've got messages. I've got the Varsity Network just told me that the Alabama game is about to start.
You know more about the channels than anybody I know, about HBO Max and Peacock and all the channels.
Yeah. But I can do anything on my phone, and of course I have computers, and I have.
You were telling Chris you type.
Yeah, I mean I'm a really good typer.
You're way better typer than me, I bet.
I don't know about that, but I'm a really good typer. I'm so grateful for technology because it's really leveled the playing ground.
Oh, yeah.
For sighted people and blind people. The internet, I can find pretty much whatever I need.
What's the best thing?
What's the best thing?
Yeah, like that you think's the coolest, best thing about technology of the last maybe 10 years or so.
I think Apple's done a really good job with their accessibility, because, we can just carry an iPhone around with us. It's like having a personal computer.
Yeah.
I don't even carry a computer with me when I travel these days. Hardly ever. I carry a Bluetooth keyboard if I know I'm going to be typing a lot. But, with Siri, you can say whatever you want to. And of course, these Meta glasses, not only do
what do they do?
Well, not only do they make me look really cool and handsome, but they, they get like, I can ask it like, okay, I'm going to face you, Aimee. Hey, Meta. What am I looking at? Took a picture.
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking at a person sitting in a blue chair with a microphone in front of them. There's a red curtain behind you and a large light source to the right.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. It's describing everything to you.
Yeah. And there are so many things like in a hotel room, it'll tell you where the thermostat is, what the thermostat's set on, like all these things that might be difficult for a blind person. Now with this, like when you get in those showers in hotels, you have those soap and you've got body wash, you've got conditioner, you got shampoo. Well, how would a blind person know
which
is which? Now I can use my glasses. I can step in the shower. I can ask my glasses to tell me which one's which, and it'll tell me.
Oh my gosh. What's the coolest thing in those glasses? That is it telling you when you go in a room, like the shampoo? It's little things.
I can say, I can ask it pretty much anything. It'll read a menu. A lot of restaurants don't have braille menus, and maybe your friends will read it to you, and no one's ever not read it. They always read it. But what if they're trying to figure their thing out? Well, I can read it, and it's pretty cool. Also, when you want coffee in your hotel room, you don't want to drink decaf. That's a waste of time. It'll tell you which one's which. I mean, there's so many things that these things do. I use them every day. They also have a killer camera. So a lot of times on my if you're not following me on social media,
I'm going to be
at official Gordon Mote on Instagram. We've got Facebook. We've got all the things. We've got a TikTok channel. And a lot of times I'll just walk around the city with a friend and just show you what we see.
Oh, I love that.
And take questions and all the things. But
do you do much social media? So it sounds like, see, I got to get better about it. Like I didn't check my messages on Facebook and then I decided to check them and I responded. And this lady was like, you sound real nice, but I don't know what you're talking about. It was from 2011, what I was responding to.
That is so fantastic.
And then I let my daughter check them all. And then she was like, it's so crazy because this guy used to date, and that was a long time ago because Chris and me have been together 26 years. But this guy I used to date read the book, and he was saying some stuff about that he liked it. And then Lola was like, thanks, leave a review.
Yes. That's awesome.
But she responded to people and then everybody messaged back. So it made the whole thing worse that I hadn't responded because then they're thinking I'm being rude.
I'm not the best at responding. I just forget. I don't mean to, but I get so busy. But we put some fun stuff. We try to just make people smile. We put some fun stuff out. We've got a couple series that we do on Instagram. Like I've got a series called In the Moment where I just sit down at a piano and play whatever comes to my head.
Oh, I love that.
We have a series called the 4-Note Challenge that we will start again in January, but we had some really good ones last year. We had, they'll give me 4 notes and I'll write a song based on those 4 notes, using those 4 notes in succession. Like we had some really good ones. We had Vince, we had Brad Paisley, we had quite a few studio musicians. Next year, we've got some really cool ones that we've already got in the can. One of the funniest ones we have for next year is the Michael Bublé one. I can't wait for people to see that one. But and then I do several series, and then we just do some one-offs talking about different things. But we just try to make people laugh and try to bring a little joy. There's so much crap out there, so much darkness, so much hopelessness. And so my job, I think, is just to bring a smile to people's face.
You're so inspirational. That's another thing people always talk about, like that you're just so inspirational and you're like just a positive influence on everything.
That's what I think we all need to strive to be, because there's so much, it's all about loving people, making people feel loved and needed. I heard somebody say a while back, you are what you need.
Oh, I like that.
I really do too. And I think if we want to be loved and cherished and appreciated and seen, other people want to be that too.
Yeah.
And so we just need to be very intentional about how we treat people. I think that's really, really important, especially in the shape the world's in today. I think there's so much division, and I think we spend so much time talking about the things that divide us when in all
especially
fairness,
politics. I think
politics,
they're so dumb.
Everything. But I think there's more that unites us than divides us.
Me too.
And I think if we can concentrate on those things, we can talk about the things that divide us. But at the end of the day, are we friends or are we not? We are. So we can disagree. That's what makes this nation so amazing. We have freedom of speech, freedom to say what we feel. But I think that freedom should stop when it offends. I may not believe what you believe, but I don't want to offend you personally.
Yeah.
It's not a personal
thing. People can believe different things. Sure. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like I was going to tell you, Chris was saying that we just had our piano tuned. Will you play a song?
Sure.
Like I need to find him because he's going to want to see it too. Like he was saying you can see if Gordon wants to play, and he mic'd it up just in case.
Well,
what are you going to play? What's your wife's favorite song?
I don't know.
That's hard. I guess the one you wrote for me.
Yeah, I could do that. I could sing the song I wrote for her. I wrote a song about her called If They Could See You Through My Eyes.
Oh, I love that.
And, people they always say, your wife is so beautiful, I wish you could see her. And so that song is kind of the answer to that.
I love that. That's so good. Yeah. That's so good. You're probably proud of yourself when you came up with that. That is really good.
Well, it's probably the best song I've ever written. I've been fortunate to write a few, but that's my favorite that I've ever written because it's my favorite subject matter.
Oh, I love it. Chris and me will probably be watching some of those videos you're talking about tonight.
Oh yeah, go on Instagram. There's one that went viral. I was just being a fool. There's one of me doing my imitation of what a blind guy hears when tennis is on, what a blind guy sees when tennis is on television.
What is it?
It's just me making tennis noises. And it's up to 4.6 million views. And it's at 4 point something on TikTok too. It's just crazy. It's silly.
I freaking love that. That's how it's funny how the algorithms work. Like all my videos, the kids were on there, they're all like dancing. Like I love to watch dancing, and then especially like if it's somebody old, super old, or like they're little kids, and then I love to watch the crazy things animals do. Have you ever? Well, there's a video. Have you ever heard about this video about the dog like that failed? It wasn't a CNI dog. It was this dog trying to do the police stuff, but it failed every test, and it was so
Have you seen that,
funny.
Kimberly? I would
I'll
love to
have
see it.
Send it. I'll
Send it to me.
to you. Yeah, it's so funny
Oh, I would
because
love
this
it.
dog, like, it just failed like there was a guy. It was a dog that was supposed to help somebody in a wheelchair, and it was
Yeah.
just dragging the wheelchair.
I love it.
Dragging the wheelchair through the room, and then every single thing they were trying to teach that dog, like it just did it wrong, and it's so funny.
That is
it's
so awesome.
cute.
That is so
But
fun.
those dogs, those police dogs, they're always German Shepherds. I didn't know the CNI dogs were like golden retrievers.
They could be
and
golden
stuff.
retrievers and yellow labs and German shepherds. And like there was even in our class, there was someone who had a boxer.
Were you super close to your dog,
Yeah.
Atlas?
Real close, yeah.
That's a good name. Did you
Yeah.
name it?
No, he was named when we got him.
That's a cool name.
All of that particular, that mom and dad had several dogs and they were all A names.
Oh, wow.
Asteroid, Atlas.
Those are good names.
Yeah.
I just never knew the thing about how they match you with the right dog. I mean, that's really
Mhm.
good about people writing letters.
They really did tell about your personality traits and all the things. And it is pretty amazing how they matched dogs to people. And they still do that. I'm sure they're even better at it now than they were then.
I wonder if they do that with
Right.
police dogs too,
I don't know.
because they, like, those dogs save a lot of lives.
They learn so much about these dogs because they are raised by 4-H families.
What's a
And
4-H?
well,
mean?
the 4-H club,
Oh yeah, like 4-H.
yeah, they're raised by these families. Not raised, but they have like a 6-month training period. So these families take them everywhere. They take them to the park. They take them in public to restaurants. They have freedom to take them places and get them used to.
So do they
people.
raise a bunch of dogs? Like, do they raise like one at a time?
They'll
or-
raise one at a time. Then they have to. I mean, it's really sad for the families a lot of times
Oh,
because
I
they get really
bet.
close to the dog, and then but they know that they only have the dog for a very short time for a reason. Sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's 4 months. It's an interesting thing that they do, but it truly is amazing how down pat they've got this thing. It really
I
is.
love that. I just love, I don't know, I say it over and over, but I really do just love dogs so much.
Yeah.
Like, and y'all lost your dog like 15. That's like, I mean, they'll be with you so long, and you know they're not going to be
She
with
was
you
Kimberly's
forever.
person. I mean, Kimberly was her person. They were so close. She was little, and she would always be with. I mean, wherever Kimberly went, that's where Sadie was, and Cooper's same way. Cooper, like wherever Kimberly goes, that's where.
Dogs just latch on to who they like.
Oh yeah,
And like I've always felt like your love meter with a dog is like however much they love you,
Mhm.
then it's like we had a dog, Gus, that moved across the street. He just like we had 2 dogs, Gus and Rosie passed away, and Gus was so lonely. There was a dog across the street, and he just started going in their dog door, and we couldn't get him. Like, I mean, it'd be 2 a.m, like, and he would be over at their house in the house, so we couldn't do anything. So finally, he was just so lonely. I felt bad because he had grown up with Rosie, and so then he just we paid his vet bills, but he lived across the street.
Right.
It's so crazy.
I can prove to you that your dog that you have now, girlfriend,
Yeah,
I can prove to you that she loves you more than Chris does.
I believe it.
I can prove it to you though.
How?
You put Chris and your dog girlfriend in the trunk of your car. You come back in an hour and see who's glad to see you.
Oh my gosh, girlfriend, that's the thing. I tell Chris
Lock 'em
she's
in the trunk of your
always
car.
glad to see me.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that are always nice to me
That's
in
right.
the house.
You lock them in the trunk of your car, you see who's glad to see you. I'll guarantee you be the dog.
Yeah, that's the thing with the dogs. They just love you so much. Like, they're always waiting. I think they just wait all day for you to come back.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And they know you're going to come back.
Yeah, that I just like
They trust
I
you.
know she's older now, and I just am trying to get prepared,
Yeah.
like, but
That's a tough day.
it's hard,
That's a tough
especially when
day.
they love you and they're your like soulmate dog. Like, cause I don't know, we talked about cloning her, like, but that's just kind of weird because she wouldn't have the same the other dog wouldn't have the same personality. like that's the thing that, you know, we love her
Yeah.
personality, who she is.
Right.
Even if you tried to clone a dog like Atlas, I mean, they're going to do different stuff.
Oh,
you know what
sure.
I mean? They're
Yeah.
not going to be the same.
You have to get another dog and love them for who they are. Every dog,
Yeah.
just like every person, is different.
Thank you, Gordon Mote, for
Aimee,
sharing your stories and your
amazing.
energy
Well,
and your music with everybody.
well.
Everybody
thank
loves you.
Well, and I'm so grateful you had me. This has been a lot of fun. You got a great crew here, people that you don't see, but a lot of behind the scenes folks, and they're all so kind and made me feel so welcome and made it a real relaxed kind of thing. And I know you've got more episodes coming up,
This is the first thing I filmed.
but you want everybody to subscribe so they
Oh,
can
yeah.
see all
Okay.
the videos, right?
If y'all want to see some more videos, subscribe. Like, I think they got to subscribe if I'm going to even do this right.
You're gonna be amazing. Everyone that's watching us right now is gonna subscribe to this channel.
Oh, I hope so.
They are. They're gonna subscribe to your podcast. They're gonna find you on your social media. They're gonna find you on YouTube. They're gonna find you everywhere, and they're gonna watch every video you put out.
Oh my gosh,
They
that
are.
would be the dream.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you. And everybody needs to follow Gordon. We're going to put the links, I think, to your social media.
Yeah, in the description, all of my handles for my social media channels will be there. So follow me, and we'll make sure that we keep putting out cool content, just like Aimee. And yeah, it's we're so grateful that we have this opportunity just to kind of be here and hang out with you and meet all your awesome people that help you.
They're
And
awesome.
I got
They
a chance
are
to
awesome.
hang out with Chris a minute, so that was fun. So, hey, and everybody, the videos get better from here. I mean, I'm the first guy.
My
Everybody's going to be way better than me.
Oh my
I'm just the opening
gosh.
act.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope that this thing works.
Oh, it's gonna
That's
be
all
great.
I know.
Oh, it's been great.
You guys rock. Thank you for watching.